It was. And nowadays, it's totally different. This is so, Christmas is so commercialized. But then, it was just our family and their family. And then they just had one daughter, I think, at that time. And anyway, we all had a plate on the table. It was a big round table, big table like this. And my mother put out plates for us, and we'd get an orange and an apple and nuts and candy on our plate, and that was Christmas Eve, plus a little present. And but that was a thrill. We didn't have that much fruit very often, and I think about those days a lot.
What were some of your other favorite memories from childhood?
That was really one of them. Well, not too many. I just don't remember a lot of things. I don't know if I didn't want to remember them.
Do you remember having a pretty happy childhood, or was it more of a struggle, more of a challenge?
A lot of it was struggle, all right, but I had, of course, living next, the Wilbergs, I had a favorite cousin. She was 3 years older than I was, but she always gave us, my brother and I, a hard time. And we just got fed up with it eventually. And of course, we had a corn patch, I think, next to the house there, and we were playing in there, and she did something to us that made us mad, but my brother and I both mad, and so we just took a corn stalk and we beat her up good. And it was a terrible thing to do, but that was the end of it. We showed her that she realized she could not do that to us anymore.
Sometimes you have to stand up for yourself in life.
We stood up for ourselves, and I never will forget that. And we've been friends ever since. And I was in her wedding when she married, and I was one of the bridesmaids in her wedding.
So, speaking of weddings, how did you two guys first meet?
Oh.
Well, Elvera needs to say one more thing. She did have 3 very good friends.
Oh, my cousins. I wasn't real close to my sister. She was 9 years younger, and she was just an aggravation, really. Sometimes I took care of her and everything, but I had 2 other cousins that we would always call ourselves three peas in a pod, and we did everything together. On Sundays we'd go home with each other, and we just were, we were pretty well all born at the same year or so, and so that was my sisters, really. And
sounds like some of your best friends were part of your family.
They were we were real close, really. We really were. And our mothers were all sisters. So, we were family. And anyway, when one of my cousins got married, that was my first cousin that got married. She married Joe's first cousin. And he had been in the Army, and he was back from the Army. And so, anyway, we were supposed to be in the wedding, and we were,
We went to a dance.
Yeah,
they took, Elvera and I, we had a blind date. And the rest of there were about 5 or 6 couples.
There was some more cousins that come up here.
Some cousins came up, and
we had to find them all dates, and
so
anyway, we just had a good time.
But Elvera and I, we fell in love.
Yeah, that was it. But we dated a couple of years, year and a half at least.
So the first time you met, your first cousins introduced you to one another on a blind date?
Because they were going to get married. And so,
Of course, she was at the dances always.
in those
But
days,
we didn't know each other, and so that's the first time I met her on that date.
These
And
are
I
like big
fell in
community
love with her.
dances?
yeah, it was a dance every Sunday night at one of the halls at Rowena. And
Often had a hall, and Rowena had 2 halls, so they'd every Sunday night beside Lent would be a dance.
and that's what the young people did. We went to,
That's how they got
a lot
together.
of parents went too. They would sit around in benches and watch the kids. And if they had little kids, they would have them under the bench sleeping. You know, it was.
And
They
practically,
don't have that anymore. It's just.
practically everybody found a partner before it was all over with and got married to somebody.
So what about Grandma caused you to fall in love with her? What did you like best about her?
My mother,
No, Grandma,
My,
what made you fall in love? Is there something in particular about her, the way she dressed or the way she talked? Or?
oh, she was just beautiful, that's all. Yeah,
Well, I've seen some of the old pictures of her. I'd agree with you on that.
yeah, I still have
No,
the
we,
picture that she gave me.
I don't know. It just, I was ready. You know, I was out of school for 5 years, and I think I was just ready to get married, and so it all worked out.
We just liked each other.
And so, and I spent a lot of time. A lot of our Christmases were at her. Even before we married, and then afterward we married, we always spent Christmas at his parents' house because all the kids, all his brothers and sisters would always go there, just like the Pinkerts, you know.
And here, when I was younger, coming to your house, I remember.
Yeah, and we did.
All 5 of your kids were always here with their whole extended families and all the cousins. It was great.
That just, everything, that's how it was. And of course, when we would go down, before we had grandkids, before our children married, we would always go to my mother and daddy for Christmas Eve and celebrate Christmas Eve. And then they lived next door to the church, so we would just walk over and go to midnight mass every time. And and then of course Sunday, then we would drive over to his parents at Alphen.
Because all my family would be there.
They would all be there. And so, our nieces and nephews, a lot of them were older than our kids. And because we married later in years. And but the strangest thing, the kids never fought. There was no crying hardly ever. Nobody, unless they would happen to get hurt, playing games and stuff. But the kids all together got along. There just was no friction.
And no matter who her children married, she always got along with them.
And Joe's mother never complained.
And she would never.
About her in-laws.
My grandmother would say, Josephine, you need to, like with Andrew, you need to tell him something. That girl is not too good she's going with. And Mother said, he's 20-something. And he didn't marry that girl either.
No.
But Mother never did tell him.
No,
She didn't interfere.
She never interfered.
She never interfered with your life. And I learned a lesson from her. Because no matter when we went there, she always didn't take her long to get a meal on the table. she always was ready to have company. But she did.
But she knew all.
I learned a lot from her. It's just,
When she died at 96, I think she knew all the grandkids and great-grandkids and great-great-grandkids,
Their
their
birth-
name and their birthday. I don't know how she did it, but
Yeah,
she did it.
she had even when she was sick and died, you know, she had a very good mind. She,
Is that the
and drove her car till she was 90 years old, and then she finally decided, I'm not supposed to be driving anymore. She put that car in the garage, and that was it. So, anyway, she was,
And
Very
of
good.
course,
his dad died a year or so after we moved up here. And but he was 80, I say 84, and Joe says 83. I don't know. He was, he had, he was older than her.
in the year we moved up here, he died.
Yeah.
So, but the reason we moved up here, after we were married a few years, Elvera's brother went to the army, and so Elvera told me that her dad would like to kind of form in a partnership with me. So I asked him, and we went in a partnership with